Oh, Gunner James 105 with part two of my Canadian 80s, 70s, 80s pattern uniform. This is the winter kit, and so I'll just start off with the winter boots. And I would say, what I believe, good to minus 40 or so. They have a thick felt liner, and the insoles are down in the bottom between you and the ground as part of that. And so part of the camouflage, of course, too, is the white or near white. These ones are a bit old and yellowed, and so one thing I can tell you is that if your feet did get warm in those, you would take before getting into your sleeping bag at night, you'd take those liners out and you'd hang them up, and in the morning when all of the moisture turned to frost, you would bang that the two of them together and bang all that frost out of there, and then put them back in, and you're good for the rest of the day. So we had snowshoes as well. Been on some pretty good treks with snowshoes, and the whole backpack pulling these sleds like a dog sled. So you have two in the front with the harness and one in the back steering, and all of your supplies would be in that sled. So these are magnesium alloy, makes them quite light. They're pretty durable. They have these ridges here for going across logs and for better grip. Sometimes you get into some pretty rough terrain, and the way these are put together, it's kind of plastic coated wire as opposed to the old wood and rawhide snowshoe. Make them a lot stronger. You could scrape these with the back of your knife if you needed to get some sparks for to light a fire, if you needed to do that. And so your boot, get the right boot here, would go in under here. And I don't know, for those that have never used snowshoes, every step you take, your foot would pivot down into that hole as you went to lift your foot to move it forward, and then back, and then this strap would come around and fasten here. So get yourself strapped in. So it wasn't too much to get in and out of these. And I do have a Coleman stove. That was part of the winter kit and summer kit, but you had your Coleman stove. Of course, you wouldn't be lighting campfires because the flame and the smoke would give away your position. So anyways, we had these very nice warm mitts as well. We call them gauntlets. It has a wool piece on here. You could hold that against your cheek, to your nose, whatever, help warm you up. I suppose some might use that with a bit of a runny nose, you know. And then we had passing through the sleeves and into around your neck was this string. Growing up, that was called an idiot string. You could apparently pull on one string, you see, and then your arm would fly up, and the other arm would fly up and hit yourself in the face. That was idiot strings, though you wouldn't lose them. So it was something from childhood that we had on our mitts that was not such a dumb idea after all. And so yeah, you wouldn't want to lose those. Part of the regular kit, I forgot to mention from the previous video, you did get these leather gloves, and that's a wool glove that fits inside of there. So it's two gloves, because the whole system of staying warm in the winter depends on layers. You have multi-layers and you're trapping the air just like you would when you insulate your house or anything else. You have this air pockets, and so there's the thermal underwear. So we were issued a couple pair of these. So you've got your long sleeve shirt, and then often I don't know if that's everywhere, but long johns. We called them long johns, and so or thermal underwear. And then you had this balaclava, so white again for camouflage in the snow. There was the scarf. This 100% pure virgin wool. I don't know if the American term is stocking cap or watch cap, but for us here in Canada, that's a toque. So we call that a toque. So your toque, and this scarf, this is one mighty scarf, because you could wrap it many different ways, but this scarf is the biggest scarf. It's darn near, well, it'll fold out again, but it's darn near a blanket. And so nice big scarf. That's part of the kit. Something else I forgot to mention on the other video that I had kind of laying by the table, forgot about, was these big rubber overshoes. And so this was for mud and muck and rain, so you could wear that right over top of your combat boot. So big rubber overshoes. Things got kind of heavy that way, but much better than soaking wet feet. And the helmet, it had camouflage cover available as well, so you could just put that right over top of your regular cover. Take the other cover off. It fits over top of the regular cover, and there's a couple of loops here for your snow goggles, because if you've spent time in sunny winter and the reflection of the sun off of the snow is very, very bright, so without goggles you can become snowblind. So you needed goggles, not just for keeping out the blowing snow and all that, but on a nice sunny day, very valuable. This is a cover. You can see the green here. This is for your backpack, to camouflage your backpack. So this will go over top. So it's got an elasticized piece that goes right over your backpack. This part goes on the bottom side, so when you're just a little extra waterproof, perhaps, for the when you set your backpack down in the snow or on dirt or whatever. So it just helps protect it, but maybe to keep the bottom of this thing clean, a little cleaner. So that cover, and these here, which look very similar to the combat pants you'd wear over top of your combat pants. They had a pocket so you could access your this isn't really a pocket but an opening, so you could get into the combat pants to retrieve things from your pocket. And this is a pocket, but these are wind pants. That's as much as we were issued. I know there were thicker pants, but that's what we had to keep out the cold. And then a very, very thick flannel shirt. This thing is it's a very, very thick wool, 100%, again, pure wool. And man, this really works. And again, you have your layers, so you'd have your combat jacket, or your undershirt, or your thermal underwear, your combat jacket. You put this over top. I mean, if you wanted to, you could put your sweater over top, and then you could put your parka on. So when you started to get warm, you would just start removing layers. and you didn't want to get warm because if you sweat then you get cold. This one here is more of a basic winter parka. It's got some reflective tape on it, so I've seen this at night. You get the headlights from a car showing on that, and it just glows like crazy. But yeah, so this one's just a basic winter coat with not a very big hood or whatever, and but really big pockets. Backside of this one here, for whatever its purpose was, has a big reflective X on the back. But yeah, so this is a winter parka, and this one's had a rough life, but my wife patched up a lot of the little tears and things. And so then we get on to our extreme cold parka. Now this one here, I have often used this when I'm out and about on a very cold day, and it's got pockets big enough to fit a lot. I mean, you could pack your lunch and everything else in there. There's lots of room in those pockets, and this collar buttons right up. So in combination with the scarf and all the rest of it, once you get all this gear on, it can do whatever it wants to do, and you're not going to be cold. And that collar on the hood, that will snap right up, and you can get that right up over your chin, and so you snap that right up. And this hood, it's a massive hood. Oh, if you can see that, but that hood is quite big. So you actually have like a snorkel out front, and the magic of yeah. See, so you've got that sticking out like that. The magic of this is it's got a wire inside of there, so you can fold it and shape it however you want the opening to be. You could close it right up if you wanted to. So it has that feature, and then over top of all of this here is this big, fits over top of everything, but that's your camouflage jacket, and access pockets to your extreme cold parka. One of the things too with any of this stuff is drawstrings. Drawstrings to trap your upper torso area, keep the air in there and keep the wind and cold out. And there's drawstrings on the bottom. Same with the parkas, they've got the drawstrings. And this one has a hood, so it's got a hood as well. So if you didn't have the helmet cover, you could at least pull that up over top of your helmet. And so it's just a light nylon, just a very light nylon, just for the camouflage effect. And yeah, so those are the winter items, and that pretty much completes the entire kit that I've assembled for the type of made a mess of the table here. The type of equipment I was issued when I was in. So hope you enjoyed it. Okay, so I was done the video, and then I thought, well, my wife thought that I should model this for you. So it is, I think yesterday officially summer, and I'm down in my basement, and as I was saying, this is very warm, and I haven't put on the flannel and all the rest of it. This is not quite my birthday suit, but as little as possible, but I do have the parka on. So for the full effect, here it is, and If I was in a snow-covered atmosphere, then it would be perhaps difficult to spot me, especially if I was motionless. So here you have basically the whole kit assembled and ready for -40. Thanks very much.